Hello and welcome to the Albion Obsessed podcast. You join us on the back of another Premier League week where we've had two games and they've not gone exactly as we'd hoped. Let's see who we've got on the show today. We welcome back Aaron. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. And yourself?
Good. Yeah, all good, thank you. Aaron is joining us from bed because he hurt his knee. He fell over at work.
Yeah, I've damaged my MCL ligaments and also may have broken my kneecap. So, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal.
Let's all wish Aaron a very speedy recovery in the chat. We also welcome back to the podcast our correspondent from Spain, Jordi. How are you doing, my friend?
We're fine, friends. Today, a little bit sad about our match, but yeah, 1 point more.
Yeah, well, that's the positive spin. Yeah, it is one more point, but we would have liked it to have been all three. Let's start by talking about the shambles that was the Fulham game. Jordi, I'll come to you because Aaron said he was asleep because he was working the night shift, so didn't watch that game. I'll come to you. Frustrating game in the capital. We haven't won there in the Premier League, and I don't think we've actually beaten Fulham in the Premier League, home or away. So was the writing on the wall a little bit with it being a negative result against Fulham?
Fulham, it's a pain in the ass directly for us. I think the best part was going to Craven Cottage, that for me has the atmosphere of a Premier League stadium. But yes, starting the game with a teenager error from our goalkeeper, then 1-1, and after that it's like, was the dead ball in the corner was so bad defend or on the fault, I don't remember precise, but yeah, these kind of matches that, well, it was a match that possibly to tie the match was okay for Brighton. It was away, but you lose, so
yeah, very frustrating. Aaron, I'm sure you've watched the highlights back at least. That error from Bart was his third error this season that has led to a goal. It's said that if a goalkeeper makes an error, it's normally a goal anyway. What do you make of Bart this season so far, and what do you think that mistake would have done to him mentally?
Mentally, I don't think it would do much to him. I don't think he seems to have matured in that sense. I feel like last year when he would make a mistake, he would sort of play on it for a little bit longer than he probably should do. But I mean, the way we want to play is it's playing out from the back. Those mistakes are going to happen. It's just part and parcel of how Thursday wants us to play. So I think it's just one of those things you just got to take on the chin. And I mean, that's just modern day football, really. Keepers will make mistakes when they're playing out from the back. Well, teams will, not even just keepers. Your centre halves will make mistakes. Everyone will. It's just part and parcel of football. And 9 times out of 10, when the keeper makes a mistake, it's normally a goal, like you said. But yeah, it wouldn't affect him too much. And I think, like I said, he's improved mentally over the last sort of 12 months. That you could see like a mistake like that would play on his mind. But yeah, it didn't really at all for the rest of the game. But yeah, I did watch the highlights. I mean, they weren't pretty goals to concede, let's be honest. But I mean, Iwobi's second one was a good finish, but it was just it should be closed down a bit quicker, really. In all fairness, and the second goal was again unfortunate from O'Reilly. I mean, it just hits him, knows nothing about it, and obviously our goal. I thought our goal was superb. I think Pedro little layoff to believe was superb, and the strike as well. He's starting to get an eye for goal now, Believer, which is good. Just adds another dimension to his game.
Yeah, definitely adds a few more £1 million to a price tag if anyone comes in for him in the summer as well, which we certainly hope doesn't happen because we would like to keep a hold of Carlos Baleba. Jordi, Aaron mentioned Carlos Baleba's goal. It was a great finish. What have you made of Carlos so far this season? Obviously, the game against Man City, he was the catalyst for the change. So yeah, what have you made of Carlos so far?
Yeah, first year always it's a year when you came from. He came from Lille, if I don't remember bad. He's an outstanding player. He needed to adapt. Premier League rhythm and paces that you need are so unique. So first year was to adapt. Second year he's exploding, and it was a little bit. Remember that Caicedo needs to went um, to Belgium as not in San Gilloise from our owner Tony Bloom, but another club. And then he explodes. So the same is for Baleba. Second year, he has a show potential. Driving the ball, for me, it's one of the best midfielders in the whole Premier League. See, he's so strong, and winning duels, he's such an amazing player. So yeah, we missed him a lot during other matches after he has the red card against Bournemouth, if I don't remember bad. But yeah, outstanding player.
Yeah, been excellent. I mean, the comments are starting to come in to the YouTube live chat about today. Adrian says this is getting to be a bit of a trend. Ouch. Yep, this one definitely hurt. Richard says Fulham I can handle, but Leicester was unforgivable. And Cohen says it's getting embarrassing now. The man management is woeful. I think I'm going to do this one backwards, Aaron. I'm going to talk about the end. And I'm going to talk about people slating Hertzler for the substitutions. Now, I just want to put in my 2 pence worth, first of all, about the substitutions. So he brings on Mats Wiefer for Carlos Baleba at half-time because Carlos Baleba is on the yellow card. For me, that's the correct substitution. He brings on Yankuba Minter for João Pedro to freshen up the attack, along with Matt O'Reilly and Danny Welbeck a little bit later on, 1 minute later on, to freshen up the attack. And then Igor comes on for Karim Matoma on the 89th minute, and 2 minutes later makes the all devastating mistake. But in my opinion, those substitutions are fine. It's the change of shape that's getting to people. But when you go 2-1 down, I thought that he's bringing on an extra defender for us to see out the game. So I don't know if that's just my lack of coaching or tactical knowledge. But in terms of the substitutions there, honestly, I think they were okay. Am I wrong in thinking that? Or
personally, I would agree with the first three. I think the one that really fucked it was bringing Igor on. I didn't see the need to change formation. I get you bringing on a defender to sort of shut up shop per se, but realistically, if you're going to, in my opinion, what you needed there was I don't particularly rate him, but Jakub Moder just to sit in front of the back four with O'Reilly, with Wiefer, and just say, "Come on, then try and break us down. Go on, then try." That's what it needed. It didn't need to switch to 3 at the back or 5 at the back. There was no need. And you could tell we were just absolutely baffled by it. And yeah, okay, you can't blame Herzler for Igor's stupidity, but at the same time, he shouldn't have really been on the pitch anyway. So, and I think our man management concerns me the most. I don't think it's Herzler's direct fault. I just think he's just naive to the fact is you're 2-1 up away from home with 4 minutes left. Just play terrorist football. Just get everyone behind the ball and just fucking hoof. Get as far up the pitch as you possibly can. For what on God's green earth is Igor thinking? Thinking, oh, I'm going to try and dribble it out from the back while we're 2-1 up with 2 minutes to go. There is absolutely no need for it. That is just stupidity at the highest level. And again, when we played Wolves, literally 5-on-1. Why are we trying to go for another goal? Why? We're winning the game. You take it to the corner and you waste time. It's game management. Game management is why we lost that game. Like, it's not hard. Credit to Leicester. I think Leicester actually turned up for a majority of that second half. I thought they were actually half decent. But I feel like we made them look good at times. I feel like just after we got the second goal, it was like, okay, now we're going to get a third and kill it. Where it just wasn't. Even at 2-0, I never felt comfortable. And that is quite a crazy thing to say, because I've said this for years. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. But 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline isn't a dangerous scoreline if you know how to grind out results. Where you can play, as I'll quote my manager at the moment, one of the coaches I'll coach with at the moment, is just go full on terrorist ball. Just get everyone behind the ball and just go route one. Just get it as far out as you possibly can, like proper Jose Mourinho it. That is good game management. And I think Fabian has to take part to blame on that. He has to. Because at the end of the day, it's him telling the players how to play, but at the same time, the players have also take responsibility and use their own experience and knowledge of just get it out. Just get it. I don't really understand why Eagle would do that, and also their first guy. I feel like Purvis is all over the shop. Granted, it's a lucky deflection that finds it to Vardy, but as soon as Vardy's in, he's not going to miss. Like Jamie Vardy is a clinical striker. He may be like 65, but he can still score goals for fun in the Premier League. Like that's just who he is. And we kept him quiet the majority of the game until the last 5 minutes, where we just absolutely shat ourselves. And as soon as that ball went in, their first goal, I was watching it upstairs with the old man, and I just said to him, "We'll draw this. I can feel it. It's coming." And he was like, "Don't be so negative." I was like, "No, it is. Like that is just what I expect now." And if we drop points against teams in this division who are relegation fodder, like Southampton, like Wolves, like Leicester, we are not going to get anywhere near Europe. Because you can beat Spurs, you can beat City, beat Arsenal. They mean nothing if you're not at least picking up 3 points. Well, realistically, pick up 12 points from the bottom four. Well, obviously a bit more than that, but you beat the teams in the lower half of the table and you draw or try and win off games where you can against the top half of the tables. This is what we're not doing. This is why we're not going to get Europe if we carry on like this. It'll be these type of games we'll look back on. I mean, what is it, 14 points from winning positions this year?
Yeah.
We'll be second right now if we won those games. Like that in itself is a crazy stat. But where are we in the table now?
7th.
7th? 8th?
Yeah. 7th, yeah.
So we're not second. So every single person, in my opinion, has a right to be pissed off tonight because, yes, it's been a positive start to see. Because I've not been on at all this year, have I? So I've not really had much. I've not had really much my say during the course of the season. There's been some really good games and some dire games. I can't see a style of play with Fabian at the moment. I can't see it. It's a mixture of De Zerbi and Potter, where going forward we look really good. But then under De Zerbi we looked a bit shaky at the back, and we've gone back to that again. And under Potter we would couldn't take our chances, and we'll just keep ball for the sake of it.
Yeah.
I don't see a full-on stamp where Hertz has gone, right, this is my team, this is how we're going to play. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if people will share that or not. But I just think at the minute, people saying, oh, Fabian needs to walk, blah, 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 get sacked, all that nonsense is bollocks. I'm just going to get that now. It's utter rubbish. I don't feel like there's a need for it. He just needs to learn the league very quickly and kind of not grow up, because that sounds really insulting, but be a bit more savvy in his decision making. Mm-hmm. Like Fulham, we lost that realistically because of him, for his formation change. I mean, why we're playing Van Heck at right back, I don't really know. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, I didn't watch it, but from what I've heard, it was a disaster class. And I think even the selection today, I thought was right. I thought the selection was right. Sorry, I've just waffled on for about 3 minutes. Sorry, my head just...
No, you're absolutely fine. That's what podcasts are for.
But I mean, even Cohen's just said in the chat, like, people calling for Fab to be sacked is nuts, and he's right. Mm-hmm. Because it's just no need. There's no need to panic. There is no need to panic. I said in the chat earlier that, can't wait for the championship next year, relegation, blah blah blah. That's all tongue in cheek. Everybody knows that. But I mean, realistically, I would happily take mid-table now. I would. And from 2-0 up, we should not be losing. Or sorry, we should not be conceding 2 cheap goals to Leicester, especially when they're missing probably their best player. That's the thing.
Who's our player?
Who's our player? Exactly. Like, that's where the frustration is. Wolves, I thought Wolves were the better team. We played them anyway. That second half, they absolutely battered us. And granted, I mean, yes, we threw away a 2-goal lead again, but they will realistically deserved the point anyway. We threw away the lead at Liverpool, which is fair enough. It's Liverpool. Like, they're a second half team, and we should have been 2-0 in that game as well. Ruta missed a 1-on-1. Forest, Southampton,
Chelsea, we won a lot.
Chelsea, yeah, but that Chelsea game, that again, we'll discuss that. Fabian Hurst, disaster class. Why are we playing a high line against rapid players? Like, that is like getting me to run 100 meters. Like, that's never going to end well. Like, it's just silly. It's silly. But anyway, back to today. Sorry, Joe, I got distracted. Apologies.
No, you're all good. Yeah, I think what you said earlier about there's no time to panic, but I think what you also said is that there is time and there is cause to be frustrated, to be more expecting of this team to go out and get good results, and that's just what we've come to expect from our football club. We've done so well. We've spent a lot of money. We've got incredible players. As naive as he can be sometimes, we do have a manager that has ability to be better. So that's why we're pissed off. If we didn't expect anything from our team, we'd just be sat there going, oh, that's just what we do, on to the next one. But we expect to beat Leicester. We expect to beat Southampton. We expect to beat Ipswich. We expect to beat Wolves. So, yeah, people are well within their rights to be pissed off. Jordi, can I get your take on the game management that you've seen this season from Fabian Hurstler and his players? Because I feel like everybody needs to take responsibility in this.
To summarize, first part, I can understand. First games we start winning on the top of the Champions League, on the Premier League. Then I remember against Chelsea, we need a quick learning, because as you were explaining, we defend so far from our goal, so it was difficult. And against 100-meter runners that they have. It was such a difficult match and way to defend. But yeah, on one hand, De Zerbi, Husler, I think it's more practical than De Zerbi and Potter. So this is something that we think we should value a lot because he adapts more into the rivals and the opponents. So for me, that's pretty good, and we've seen a huge progress. However, one of my feelings on this season is like it's not personal because the player is playing so good, but I think we are missing the person that rules the game. I think Ayari it's not capable to do that, despite he's such a lovely player. And Baleva, it's like an outstanding player, but needs someone that makes the roles. For me, we're both able, Pascal Gross and also Billy Gilmore, but Brighton actually do not have a player that rules the game because Weaver, for me, he's not demonstrating for now. Possibly he needs another campaign the level. And O'Reilly, I have lots of hopes, but he arrived from being injured against Manchester City, so it's just 3-4 weeks playing at the high level. This, yeah, and this combined with particular errors. For example, I don't know, in case of Barber Bruggen, other day, he made an error, yes, but he made an error in the 3rd minute. So I can accept like on the first 5 minutes, you can make an error and then you can react. But in the situation of 86 minutes, if you are, and also it was a mistake, okay, starting, I can understand. But Igor, that he's replacing Mitoma, and at the 88th minute or at the 86th minute, it could not be that you make this kind of error, because one of the things that I was more focused was what did Igor on the next action after the mistake. He throws the ball away. So if he has this kind of reaction, why he has not reacted like this before? This is the questions that we need to ask, because I can understand that one of the roles, for example, we are delighted to support Brighton. Why are we delighted to support Brighton? Because they play from the back. I can accept that they play from the back, but you can control the game not playing in the center in a ball that you don't have control. You can try to control, and then if you attract defense or attackers from the other team, try to switch the ball into the other side. Don't try to control like this. Try to have more control onto right lane and left lane, and not in the center lane close to your goal. These are these kind of things that these individual errors have. I remember the error of Biefer against Wolves in the 2-1. The error the other day, I can accept or not on Verbruggen, but the error of today are huge errors that are getting you some points. So yes, and if it happens against, I can accept that you have an error or Salah has the day and they score 2-1 against Liverpool, but don't know. The idea here, and with that I finish, it's like Brighton is not now the little Brighton that we have. Brighton have spent 200 million, and Brighton have spent 200 million because in management side, Tony Bloom have done things amazing. But these players, having the context that United is not playing good, that Tottenham is not the best team, that Aston Villa has the Champions League, these players, it should be a must that they finish on top 6 because they have squad to do this. So I think that we should not say who's left out. I think this is not the way, but we need to push them that this should be the target. We are out of the Carabao Cup and possibly FA. I don't know which it will happen, but we don't have the weight of having to play Europe week against week. So this, I think it should be a campaign on, okay, it does not happen, new management, new players, but now we should be consistent with them and ask them that we want results.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And the point I made last time I was on the podcast was that if we didn't make these mistakes, if we kept all these points from winning positions, we would be title contenders, right? Because we would have 14 more points, and that would actually put us at the top of the table. If we had those 14 points, would put us at the top of the table on 38 points. So it's not that we're expecting us to be extremely flawless and completely perfect, because football happens and we know that you're not going to win every game. It's just these really silly errors, like, as you said, Aaron, Igor trying to stupidly dribble it through a bunch of players and not just clear it. And that hopefully would have seen us through to getting 3 points and not just one.
You would have thought so, but it's I feel like it could be a bit more than that. I think Jordi's spot on. We haven't got someone who can dictate the game, and that kind of does impact us. I haven't really thought about it that way before, because before we had someone like Alexis who would dictate the game and dictate it well, and we have Pascal, and now we haven't really got that sort of creative kind of player there. But at the same time, when you've got the likes of Matoma, Pedro, Ruta, where you can play the simplest balls out to them and they can make things happen, it hasn't really been such a big notice. Like, you haven't really noticed it that much this year. At times you do, for sure. It's also, I feel like it's a mentality thing as well. It generally does feel like a mentality thing, which is concerning, because I think Joanna said it in the chat that we can grind out results. We've done it in Newcastle, and that was a proper back to the wall performance in the second half. But yet, we can't see off teams like Leicester. That sounds so disrespectful, but the newly promoted team like Leicester, Ipswich. Ipswich defended for their lives, and realistically, they probably should have won it. When we played them at home, they hit the bar, didn't they, or hit the post towards the last 10 minutes or so. And it's always been a Brighton thing. We do not do well against clubs in the lower half of the table.
Yeah.
And
I'll talk about the lack of. So you mentioned the Newcastle result, and looking at the team that was playing there, you had Dunkey at the back with JP Van Hecker, Estupiñán on the other side, and Joel Veltman. So let's talk about the absence of Joel Veltman. Do you think that's playing a big impact on the fact that we're struggling to defend a little bit?
Not really, I don't think. I think if anything, we miss his kind of shithousery more than anything. His game, again, his game management perhaps.
Yeah.
But I think Lamptey was superb today until the last sort of part of the game, where I think he just flagged a little bit. But I don't think we really miss him that much. I think it's literally just the dark arts we miss from him.
I think that was probably the point that I was trying to make, was not so much the defending, more so, as you say, the shithousery in the game management that he brings, and the experienced head to tell people just calm down a bit. We've got a leader, Lewis Dunk, right? He leads the squad well, but we've got a leader at the back, and sometimes we have a leader at the front when Danny Welbeck's fit. We don't really have much in the middle. Do you think that plays a part?
I'm going to probably state something which is quite outrageous. I don't think Dunk's as strong a leadership as he has been in recent years in this season so far. I feel like he panics too much sometimes. So when he's played, I don't think he's been that good this year. I feel like he loses his head, and then he will start lunging into tackles, like to make blocks, like he always does, which is fine. But there's sometimes you need to, as a defender, need to sort of, especially as a leader, you need to calm yourself to calm the team, if that makes sense. Yeah. So if they see you're calm and collective, the team are like, all right, we're all good, we're in safe hands here. If he switches and seems to not get aggy, but it gets wound up, it shows. it does show. And I think for me, the next captain is JP at the minute. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think he has been better than Dunk this year by an absolute country mile, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you're right. In midfield, we haven't got that calming presence where we used to have Pascal Gross, Alexis. He was young, but he would calm everything down because of just how he dictated the play. And I can't even believe I'm about to say this because I don't really rate him. If we probably had Milner, we probably wouldn't lose that game or drop points because of just generally his experience.
Yeah.
And that's not me being horrible. That's generally what I think.
Well, yeah, but sometimes you need a player, like a veteran type player, to come on and to give his know-how of
100%.
how to grind out games.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And that's
so
how
I don't think you're off saying that.
Yeah, and I think that's you need a spine of the team that who you have leaders in every single department. Where maybe midfield we are lacking a teeny bit of experience. That's why I was a bit surprised when Jordan Henderson was available in the summer or in the winter this time last year. I think he would have been a good signing because of his experience. I don't particularly rate him anymore, but I think the experience would have been perfect. Lallana would have been a good replacement for Lallana.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the things, it's all ifs and buts now. And,
True.
you know, if we continue to bottle 2-goal leads, we're not going to get anywhere. But then if we take our chances, defend well, we can do something. You know, it's literally the old saying, you know, you win some and lose some, but, you know, it's a fine margin in football. But fine margins in this level can cost millions and millions. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, look how close we were from going out of the Premier League the first year we were in it. It was only because Palace beat Cardiff on one of the last games of the season for us to stay up. Like, if that went, if some buts changed it there, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation probably. Realistically, because we wouldn't have been able to stay up and build and build and build. We have done. But for me, I think it's the amount of money we've spent comes expectation. How well we've done also creates expectation from us fans, and which is it's just part of the business. It's part of how football works, and I think people need to just sort of calm down a little bit and just think. Yes, we've spent a lot of money. Yes, we've got a brand new manager who's, as we all know, is the youngest manager in the Premier League. Do you know that? Anyone know that? Okay.
How old?
I believe 31, I believe. But which is youngest manager ever in the Premier League. If they haven't told you that before.
I think it's been mentioned 1 or 2 times by Sky Sports.
Yeah. And it's I sound like Mikel Arteta. It's a process, but we have a right to be pissed off at the process when these sort of things keep happening.
Yeah, well, it's incredibly frustrating. It is. We're 2-0 up on the 80th minute. We were 2-0 up on in the 85th minute against Wolves. So to see your team capitulate, like my notes, let me just get my notes up because I wanted to delete them all because none of it, for me, none of it mattered or what happened before. I just wrote Brighton throw away a 2-goal lead to a relegation threatened side again. Capitulation.
Yeah, I don't think you can complain with that. Because that's what it is. It generally is a capitulation.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Leicester. It generally was. There's no real words.
They would have been pissed off if they were 2-0 up and we scored 2 goals. Any team in this league would be pissed off with the way that some of the results have gone.
And you'd be stupid. You'd be stupid if you weren't pissed off at it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be thinking, I'll take the positives out of it. For me, there is no positives for that game because we dropped 2 points again from a 2-0 into a comfortable 2-0 lead again. yes, we played well for 85 minutes, means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I would rather play absolute shite for 90 minutes and then score in the 91st minute and win 1-0. Like, because it's 3 points. 3 points in the Premier League are hard to come by, regardless of who you're playing and who you are.
Yeah.
And we've had that opportunity twice this year. Not even this year, in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And we've thrown that away twice.
It's frustrating because you look at the course of the game, Jordi, and there are 2 moments in there that, we haven't spoken about yet, which are key moments in the season for 2 of our players. The goal from Tariq Lamptey, whether he meant, I think he meant it personally, but it sort of throws that to the back of your mind, really, the fact that it is such a great strike. So I do want to just highlight the 2 goals that we scored today, if anything, to try and get a little bit of positivity out of us. So Jordi, talk us through Tariq's goal and what a great moment that was for him to score.
Yeah, today, no, there are lots of positives today, despite the result. I think Brighton, despite having at first 10-15 minutes more Leicester the ball, we didn't suffer too much. And yeah, until then, 15-20 minutes we stayed better. We have Mitoma trying a lot, and then the goal of Tariq was brilliant. One of the things that I need to highlight is Tariq has 2 things. First of all, he is improving his decision making, not only scoring, but also deciding where to pass or not. Because if you remember 1 or 2 years before, he was over speed and he had difficulties on how to decide the pass. So I think this is to congratulate him, and also he's defending better. So one of the main good things today was like, yes, we miss Beltman because we are always going to miss Beltman, and obviously he would be also better center back than Igor for me for all whole life. But Tariq, today we didn't miss so much Bellman, except as you were telling, the last 15 minutes was amazing. And also from Jakuba Minte, he's so good at the space, so he has a good circumstance and he achieved a good goal. So it was pretty amazing. I remember one missed occasion from Mitoma that was super clear on the first half, and also on the second half we have another one that was super clear and we missed it. So we would not be talking about with the error of Igor, despite it was difficult. And one of the other things, week by week we are talking about that, but top 10 defenders of the Premier League, for not telling top 5 defenders, Jean-Paul Van Heck, his level is outstanding. For me today was all, despite Jakuba, despite all the players, and he was, for me, was another time the best player on the pitch. His leadership, it's amazing. He has overpassed Lewis Dunk. Now the player is him. He understands when he decides or not. He understands when it's crucial to win a duel. He understands when it's this kind of player. It's amazing. I think he is well deserving to be the couple with Van Dijk in the national team of Netherlands, because he's outstanding. This player is outstanding.
Yeah, and whilst we're on the subject of centre backs, and whilst you've not overly given Igor a glowing report, I do want to remind people that Igor has been, for the last few games, except for the Fulham game and this game, he has been fantastic, stepping in for Lewis Dunk. And I want to also remind people that one mistake, as much as I'm pissed off with him for making that mistake, I am 100%. Aaron, you saw the group chat. One mistake doesn't make a player. So I don't want what I've seen on Twitter, what we see with Matt's FIFA, when he makes a mistake, there's a pile-on, there's a scapegoat, there's always someone to blame the frustration on, when the frustration should be at the whole thing. Is that we've not seen another 2-0 scoreline go in our favour, and that's just incredibly frustrating as a football fan. So, yeah, not to extend the disappointment too much, but we do have to talk about another Premier League game, Aaron, next week. We play Crystal Palace next week. Aaron, do you think it's the perfect fixture to bounce back?
No. I'm scared.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm scared. It's written in the stars that we're not going to win this game. I've already accepted that. Anything is a bonus at this point. For me, I just fucking hate them so much, and I just know we're not going to win. And it's if I believe we're going to win, then we're not, and it's just I just can't deal with it. I can't deal with this again. This is the one game a year I hate, and because I can't mentally prepare myself for anything other than a defeat. Because if I think we're going to win, we won't. And even last year, I was a bit like, not sure. But then obviously, I mean, the fact we went 3-0 up in like we got 3 goals. Is it 3 goals in like 4 minutes? Something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Second half, the start of the second half, we just went. Was it the second half? No, I can't remember now. But yeah, it was mental.
It was carnage after carnage, and even then, I could relax because we're 3-0 up, like bang, 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 like it was unreal. The thing is, they're not. I think they were worse last year than they are this year. I think this season they look actually okay.
Well, we haven't played them under Glasner yet, have we? I don't think we have.
No, that was Hodgson's last game when we took them to the cleaners because he brought Elise on, didn't he, and then got taken straight off. That was fun. But yeah, I was chatting to a couple of my palace mates when I was in Amsterdam last week, and he's adamant that we're gonna batter them. I just can't. I cannot see it. We get nervous in this game. We get nervous. Like the whole entire crowd get nervous. Like I'm going with one leg, and I'm already even the thought about it. I can't. This week's going to be a long week because that's all I'm going to be thinking about. That's all I'm going to be thinking about is Sunday. I mean, I said to my girls, I was like, "There's only one game that I will miss you lot for, and that is this game." And I said that this afternoon when we went for breakfast, and they were like, "Why?" I was like, "You just don't get it." Like this game means more to me than any game in the Premier League. If we beat these guys, I don't care. I'm happy. I can be happy. I can forget about this weekend. I can forget about Wolves. I can forget about Fulham. We beat the scum. Everyone's happy.
Well, let's hope so.
Two fucks about. But don't get me wrong. I don't think it'd be easy. I don't think it will be, and I feel like they're gonna either sit back and absorb so much pressure and catch us on the counter, and Eze, if he starts, will probably score. Mateta probably will score. Fucking Jordan Ayew will somehow come back and score. No, I'm surprised he didn't score today, to be honest. It's just I just can't deal. I just hate him.
I know, Aaron. I'm going to ask you the all-timer question. I know what you're going to say, so just say it. No. So can I have a prediction?
No.
Ask you at quarter to 1.
Ask me at quarter to 4.
After the game. All right, we'll do. Jordi,
and I'll be either mentally stimulated or on the verge of just yeeting myself in front of a train.
Well, don't do that. Do not do that. Jordi, we play Crystal Palace next week. Aaron's had his say. Are you feeling positive that we can bounce back against that lot up the road?
It's a derby. I hope, yeah. Brighton, it's the kind of team that when you don't expect that you can lose or be close to lose against Southampton, then you are close to lose. And then when you go in without expectations against Manchester City, then you win. So it's a lottery, but I have good feeling. I think Brighton will manage to win the game.
Let's hope so. Let's go for a prediction, Jordi. What do you think?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1. Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that right now. Although that is a 2-goal lead, and 2-goal leads will be in my nightmares forever.
One thing I do hope is that it gives them a rocket up the arse. That they just come flying out of the blocks on Sunday.
Yeah,
like they just go for it. And if we don't, I will be concerned because there should be a fire in the belly after that. And if there isn't a reaction, I'll be disappointed. Who did we play after the Wolves game?
It's a very good question. Hold the line, Aaron.
Yeah.
Can someone play some hold music for me?
Copyright.
That's true. Yeah, fair enough. After Wolves, chat, you might be able to help me out here.
Yeah, I have close, I think. One more.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool. But possibly it's not the best example, no? Because
but then we beat Man City. No, we played Liverpool twice in a week. So we played them in the cup and then the league.
Yeah, but despite the loss, I think we don't play so bad against Liverpool. So I thought
we were decent. I thought we were decent. Yeah, I thought we were decent at Anfield. The first half, especially. Second half, we weren't very good. But then,
yeah,
I mean, you kind of expected Liverpool to come at you. To be fair,
exactly. And you need to compare that Liverpool possibly was at this moment with Barca the two teams with fittest in all Europe. So at this moment was like, okay, you can understand. And also the match on the league was in Anfield. So putting the context, it's not the same being Liverpool having Salah like the fittest player in whole Europe than this afternoon. But yeah.
But then after that, we beat City and then we beat Bournemouth as well. So there is opportunity for us to put things right. And as you say, Aaron, if there's no motivation to do that against Crystal Palace at home, then I don't think there can be motivation against anybody else in the league at all. So I'm nervous. Everybody here is nervous. I'm going to say it's going to be a nervy 1-0 win for Brighton. But we'll see. We'll see how well that ages as we come to the end of Sunday. Anything else, boys, before we sign off?
One thing is up the fucking sea pigeons, and we go again next week. Kima.
Absolutely. We keep going. We keep going.
Come on.
Exactly that. Well, thank you everyone for joining us in the live chat today. You've been very active. I'm sorry I haven't got to all the comments. Aaron and Jordi have been doing extremely well, keeping up to date with the comments as we've gone on. We're keeping this one relatively short because, to be honest, I don't want to think about this result for too long, and we want to move on to next week. We're going to beat Crystal Palace. Let's put it into the universe. Let's just do that.
Fuck's sake, why have you said that now?
I know. Sorry. All right. Before I jinx anything else, let's sign off. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us across all social media, especially Blue Sky at Albion Obsessed. And wherever you may be, whenever you may be, we will see you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you soon.